Solopreneurs, come on down! Unpacking all your business woes on the go. Your queens of business banter, Laura and Lindsay. You're in for a hilarious half hour of unconventional, unpredictable, unadulterated solopreneur shenanigans, jam-packed with pearls of wisdom and actionable aha moments. Let's get ready to banter!
Hello and welcome to this episode of Banterpreneurs. She is Laura and she is an amazing speaker. She's also a performance coach and she's got a dirty mind.
What? Slander. It's true though. She is Lindsay. She's an improv teacher, a creativity coach, and she has possibly an even dirtier mind.
I don't.
That's why we. Oh, you don't?
I don't.
We
Honestly,
have a dirty mind off one day.
Yeah, you'll win. Because it's kind of like you just want to think that I'm dirtier to make yourself feel better. See, this is what. But I'm practically Amish, okay? I'm just like practically Amish.
You're such a liar.
I'm a prude, an absolute prude. Yeah.
I actually always laugh because I think I'm more of the male in my marriage than my husband. Like he's constantly being like, Laura, that's gross, that's disgusting. Or because he's Italian, Laura, that is disgusting.
Yeah, probably snap there, but yeah. Okay, so how are you feeling?
I am okay, actually. I'm just coming off of a 2-week virus, so you might hear it in my throat. And then the universe was like, by the way, you feel crap from having a virus. I'm just going to give you your period as well so that you can have that on top of it. So
isn't that nice? The gift that keeps giving.
I know, exactly.
Yes. I always sort of think about that. We have this extra thing as women, as female solopreneurs, we have this extra thing to contend with that guys don't. Although sometimes I feel like Luke has a period every now and then. But
what happens? Does he get just moody?
Oh, just moody and short and needs chocolate. Just the kind of
no,
usual.
He's not allowed. That's our thing.
That's our territory, man.
Yeah.
Because you're always kind of feeling like you're either pre-menstral, mid-menstral, or post-menstral. It's just it's just pretty much constant.
I know. And I think it's important for us to talk about this with our listeners because it's a thing, right? And it makes us feel different throughout the month. I feel completely different at different times of the month. And it does impact my business and I was going to say how my creativity juices flow, but then as I thought of juices flow, like
your dirty mind
came into my mind.
As I said, have I been vindicated? Yes, I have.
Anyway, back to the task at hand, the matter at hand. So I think we should talk about this. Because I want to know, and I don't know, so I want us to explore that. Is it possible, and is it a good idea to run our businesses according to our cycles? Like, can we, if we know how we roll at different times of the month, can we leverage that?
Yeah, I think my instinct on that is yes.
Oh, good. That'll do then. Might as well go.
I would feel like, taking into account your cyclical kind of nature is probably like advantageous.
So, okay, tell me about your cycle. How's this for getting personal? I don't want to know any visuals. But so I know you're a creative. So, does that and how you feel about creativity or running your business or whatever, I'm putting words into your mouth very poorly.
Yeah, I'm kind of in denial that I even have it. Like Luke knows my cycles. He's like, you're a week out. I'm like, am I? I think it kind of, for me, the week leading up, I just have less energy.
Yes, me too.
Less energy. So it's probably not the greatest idea to do anything that takes up a lot of kind of maybe performance energy or like physical energy, things like that. Also really important, like self-care is definitely getting more sleep.
Yeah.
Definitely getting more sleep in that kind of, and everybody's different. Like every woman you speak to will say, oh no, I have more energy a week before. Yeah, I don't know, and it changes. Like, I'm pretty sure it never used to be like that, but there is this kind of, I get really tired the week before, and then the day before or 2 days before, I'm cleaning. I need to clean everything. That's what happens. So it's kind of like, even if I have plans to work on my business, that's not going to happen. I'm going to be cleaning.
Mama's got to clean.
Mama got to clean, all right?
Is that why Luke knows? Because he's like, I'm just going to leave my shit everywhere because in 5 days she's going to clean it all up.
Exactly. It's advantageous for him to take that interest in my in my cycles. And then, I'm pretty sure, I'm 45 now, so I'm pretty sure my mum sort of went through menopause. I mean, this is a lot of information, but my mum went through menopause just before 50. So I'm pretty sure I'm in that there's a new stage now. It's not just menopause, there's the perimenopause, which comes before the menopause. So that's
I like it though, because it gives us a label for the crazy. So thank you to all those, experts that gave us a new label.
Exactly, true. And what a great excuse to just be an absolute bitch. So apparently I'm in perimenopause and everything's sort of changing up and moving and things are longer and shorter and this and that, and you can't predict it as much. I think the thing that we have to sort of realize is that it is something that we have that, half of the population don't.
Yeah.
And so energy management becomes paramount. I would say.
That, yeah, definitely. Yeah. And energy management, and then like with that task management as well, I suppose, like you were saying. So I'm the same as you. I know in that week before, I'm flat. If I allow myself to, I start to question my entire life and everything I'm doing.
Totally.
If I'm going to mind map my business, it's usually in that week where I'm like questioning everything I'm doing. I have to remember that so I don't go down a rabbit hole. And same thing, like really tired. And actually one thing I've learned, so you're perimenopausal, I've got polycystic ovaries. So we've both got our individual hormonal shit going on. One thing I've learned is, because I take progesterone in the second half of the month to top up my hormones. And that makes you more sleepy. And so that's why I think we do go down that path of being more sleepy, because our progesterone is elevated at that time. And so then when we get our period, progesterone drops, and that's when we get our energy back. So that doesn't change anything, but I just find it's quite nice to understand things a little bit better. Yeah. And I find for me as well, even in the 2 weeks, like half of my month, because I've got a bit too much estrogen, thanks to my polycystic ovaries, I retain heaps of water. And I tell you what, you can bet your frigging bottom dollar, whenever I'm booking a big speaking gig or workshop, it's in the second half of my cycle. And I'm like, oh, good. I'm going to have a foggy head. I'm going to be bloated as... and tired. But I suppose if you can do it, then you can do it anytime, right?
Exactly. Yeah, like how good are you that you
exactly. So then I suppose what comes into play then, because we were saying, can you do your work according to it? So ideally I wouldn't do anything like that in those 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Then I suppose and we can't always put everything off. So I suppose the question is, what can we do to be able to manage our business and our life if we can't change the physical situation?
Something that comes to mind, especially on that, for me, with you saying, you'll get those gigs in the week when you're feeling sort of at your lowest ebb or whatever it is, and you've got the brain fog and all that sort of stuff. So therefore, if that does happen, I mean, you try not to book it, at that time, but if that does happen, then I think it goes back to really allowing yourself extra time before the gig or the day leading up to the gig, and just realizing, I'm not at 100%. I'm kind of at like 70%. So I'm just going to need that extra rest or extra practice of the speaking or whatever it is, extra time, and be very vigilant about boundaries on time. Yeah. Around that time. Yeah. That's what I feel.
Definitely. And I think for me, I feel like I'm less confident in that week as well, just because I'm feeling crappy, and then you feel more self-conscious, I think. So I have to like supersize my confidence building activities that I would normally do. And I've got a particular song I listen to before I speak that kind of triggers my brain to go, right, it's cool, you've got this. I've got little words. I say to myself, I'll meditate more. I'll make sure I've practiced a bit more, make sure like all the things are organized a bit more so I don't have to worry that something's going to fail as much. Yeah. And so I find that really helps me in those times when I can't change the physical situation. Yeah.
It is. It's all about that energy management and then sort of being kind to yourself. Because, you know, I realized the other day, like, what an absolute fucking asshole I am to myself. Like honestly, some of the shit I say. Are we still talking
about in relation to periods or just
it gets worse at that time.
Yeah, that's so true.
You know what I mean? Like 100% gets worse. I know it does get worse at that time.
Yeah.
You know, you're like totally berating yourself and all this shit. Like, you know, so it's kind of knowing that. Like you said, you know I'm going to have less energy, so I'll do this. You know you're going to be nasty at yourself. You know that you're going to need chocolate. Or whatever.
Yeah, and have it and don't feel guilty. Like
exactly.
And then from that, know that you're not going to, you know, do sales calls that week, or know that you're not going to, you know, do performance reviews that week if you've got people working for you, or know that you're not going to have a conversation with your partner about how they've been pissing you off lately in that week.
Yes. But you know what? It is a mindset shift, because through time, for thousands and thousands of years, women have had this. And for thousands of years, we've just been expected to just do our thing.
Yeah.
No matter what, you know. And the thing is that, you know, I think that it's really important, like, know thyself is probably the most important thing in life. Yeah. Know yourself, know your cycles, know how that works for you and how you're going to put up the boundaries around that, because it's, you know, it's really not fair that, you know, like, people should be expecting more of you than you can give at that particular time. Yeah,
absolutely.
So, yeah, it's about, and not just at work, you know, like, if other demands on your time, you know, as well.
Yeah, kids, parents, you know, partners, all that sort of thing. And another thing I found as well, and I don't know if this resonates with anyone else, because I know us solopreneurs, we are quite, you know, control freaks. And we like to have this kind of image that we've got all of our shit together all of the time. And I used to find that during those times of my cycle, I would feel like I didn't have control, and I would feel like I people were going to see I didn't have my shit together. And for me, that was a real problem. And so then the more I've gotten comfortable with just, fuck it, this is who I am. Guess what? I'm about to bleed and I hate the world. I don't hate you. I just hate the world in general. It's actually then brought down the impact of those feelings, because I've not had all that other shit layered up on top of it as well. Like you said, know yourself, know thyself, know thyself, and accept it, and just go, this is me. Is that a song?
I think it's from Greatest Showman.
Oh yeah, I love that song. So do we have any experts that might want to reinforce what we're talking about?
Yeah, I've kind of got a feeling that we know a couple of people who really know how to put up boundaries. I mean, that's kind of what I'm feeling. Are you feeling something else?
No, I'm down with that. Why don't you see if you can get them on the blower and they can impart their wisdom on us?
Awesome. Cynthia, so yes, the girls have told us to come on, and God knows why. Something about bantering, something about cycles.
Yes, I know, darling. Such a bore.
Darling, I know, such a bore. I only do it because, you know, Lindsay's my second cousin's wife's husband's
darling,
niece.
You're too nice.
I know. I try my best, darling, but, you know, I try my best to have boundaries, and most of the time I do, but, you know, with family, sometimes they just push the envelope.
Oh, I know, darling, I know.
Yes. Listen, I know I'm a little bit off color, darling, and I just want to confide in you, sweetheart, that you know, I'm mid at the moment. Darling.
Oh, are you, darling?
Yes,
darling. Mid is not the best, is it, darling?
It's not the best, darling. No, you just don't feel yourself. You
poor little flower.
It's terrible. And you know what? They didn't even have my cacao when I went down to the health shop, and they didn't have that. And it's just put a dampener.
Darling, I'm going to go right down there later and say, where's this cacao? We will not stand for it. No.
Well, it had the Peruvian rose and the ginger, from Botswana in it, and it's the only thing that can calm my ovaries and all the other things that are going down there. I don't like to think about it, to be honest.
What else is going on down there, my darling?
Oh, darling, it's just, shooting pains in my legs and, a bit of bloating. And I don't like to bloat, especially when I'm wearing Dior.
I'd rather die than bloat, darling. I'd rather die.
I know.
Javier at the club does this remarkable Hawaiian massage.
Oh, darling.
That apparently is so good for bloating. You just can't believe.
Oh, darling, I'm going to have to make sure that I can get down there this week. Then you're going to have to give me the details. I'm just so busy with all the cane furniture that's coming in at the moment. My import business is just booming, and I just don't have a minute, darling. But I said to them, do not call me today. Okay,
good on you. Good on you.
Yes, I put down the boundaries, darling. I know you don't work, love. You don't need to.
I have to set my boundaries with the horse trainer, Sometimes he wants me to...
how is Lady Lips, darling, your horse?
Lady, as you know, she's just won her 3rd Grand National. And we're so proud, so proud.
Oh, beautiful.
But sometimes the trainer wants to ask me questions.
Questions? Oh.
I know.
Oh, I know.
So I have to say no. No, I'm mid.
Oh, darling, are you mid? Are we synced?
I believe we are. Oh, darling, I believe we are.
Oh, that's lovely, darling. Maybe we should spar tomorrow.
Oh, we should. We should spar with our synchronization.
Yes, darling. Or the Hawaiian massage sounds great as well.
Oh, yes. Yeah, there's lots of heavy breathing, darling. It's just marvellous.
Oh, darling, you're not talking about a happy ending, are you? Just saying, I am mid, so it's probably not going to happen this time. We'll wait for post.
Oh, yes, post. That's where it's all about to happen.
Yes.
So now tell me, darling, because, if we don't talk about these things, they'll never stop. So tell me, what do they want to know, and how can they learn from us in all of our marvelous years on this planet?
Oh, I don't know. Apparently, we're just very good at creating boundaries.
Oh,
yeah. They want our advice about that. How do you create a boundary?
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you just say no.
It's sort of simple, really, isn't it? It's just N-O. I mean, really, isn't it? I'm not really sure what all the kerfuffle is about. I mean, why do people even feel bad about saying no? I say no all the time.
Oh my gosh, darling, me too. It's so liberating.
It is. I mean, when they wanted me to put my mother of pearl hair clips into that boutique, and they only wanted to pay me a pittance, I had to say no, because I'm worth more than that. So I said no.
Darling. Oh, no. Yes. Well, no. I know.
But I think specifically they're talking about periods, and I don't like saying that word. But, yes, it's a bit mucky. Yes. So how are we? So what do we do? Well, what do you do when you're mid?
Well, darling, I mean, of course, I say no. as my go-to. But also I found it's important to know myself, you know?
You made a joke, darling. No.
No, I didn't even know.
Oh, darling.
And
That's
so,
it's funny.
you know, darling, I know that I must go see Javier when I'm mid, you know? I must see Javier. And he knows me too. And he knows I must never have the Colombian scrub. Oh, no, not when I'm mid. I must only have Ethiopian at this time.
Yes.
And you can only know this when you know yourself, you know?
Oh, know thyself. I mean, the girls were talking about that before. I mean, we totally know thyself, don't we, darling?
Oh, yes, darling. Yes.
Yes, I do remember it was a different kind of exfoliation you like in post and pre, right? So it's different.
Yeah.
You know, you have to know what the right exfoliation is for the pre, for the mid, for the post.
Yes, and I can tell you, when you know yourself, it's just marvelous. And this silly cycle nonsense it doesn't even come into question, you know? Everything is just normal when you know yourself.
Yes, exactly, darling. And you just have to put your stiletto down and just say, you know, enough. You know, enough. You know, I need time. I need me time. I need know thyself time. You know, even if it's down at Fortnum Mason or wherever it is, whatever makes you feel like you're getting closer to your brilliance, because, you know, we are.
Oh, so brilliant. And let me tell you, darling, when I say no and when I know myself, my brilliance is so much greater, you know, and my clarity. And I know which one I want, you know. Do I want the margarita or the Prosecco, you know? And I know it's so much easier to make decisions.
Yes. Totally, everything becomes clearer when you're just comfortable with yourself, you know? Just comfortable with yourself.
Yes, darling. Well, you know, I think we must set a boundary now. I think we've given the girls enough. They've had enough.
Yeah.
Now we must go, I believe.
All right, darling. Well, listen, I do want to take you up on that Hawaiian massage. So, could we do it Thursday, darling? Could we?
Oh, yes, darling. Of course. Anything for you.
Oh, my darling, you're so beautiful. You really are. You're just shimmering and shining. And I just love you. So
I
much.
know.
Oh, my darling, I know. We're going. We're going. I've had enough now. Okay.
Javier. Well.
Okay. Thank you, distant cousin Sylvia, for that enlightening. What was that?
Well, I mean, it wasn't a lot. Was it? No, I have to say, they've probably reinforced what I've learnt through binge watching The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Right. And what's that? Tell me about that.
Who I think move in the similar circles to Sylvia and Cynthia.
Yeah.
And I suppose it is this know thyself thing, right? But also like they seem to set really good boundaries. I don't know why having more money seems to help people with that. But they seem to be more okay with saying what they want, asking for what they want, saying no to what they don't want, unashamedly. Sometimes maybe a little bit too much. I think they could probably soften it slightly. Why is that, by the way? I noticed that when I come across people who are like higher in status.
Yes, I was just about to say high status. Yes. So this is the thing, you know, like I know Sylvia is very high status.
Yeah.
I say status, sorry. I know you like status.
Potato.
Potato, tomato. Potato, tomato, status. Let's call the whole thing on. So yeah, she is very high status. And the thing about high status is that when you're truly high status, you really don't care what anyone thinks.
Wow.
You know? So, yeah, it's really, really interesting. But I don't know what that's got to do with knowing thyself, but I do know that about high status.
Well, I suppose Yeah, I don't know where I'm going with that, but I feel like there's a link to those two things, right? Like, if you don't care what anyone else thinks, then I suppose you don't, like, you're okay to kind of go with what you want and say what you want and say no to things, right? Because I think, I know for me, and I know for probably a lot of our listeners, the reason we don't have the boundaries is because we don't have the confidence in who we are. Like, we feel like we've got to prove ourselves, or we're not worthy, or whatever, you know, that story is that we're telling ourselves in our minds. So we're trying to, like, be a people pleaser, or we're trying to say what we think we should say, or what people want us to say. And then in doing that, we let go of all of our friggin' boundaries, right?
Yes.
Assuming we do know thyself initially. I think that's the first step, is know yourself.
Definitely.
And then it's about being confident. So I think we can actually take quite a lot from these high status people in terms of having confidence in who you are and what you want is actually the key to being able to set boundaries, able to stay focused on what you want, and able to get the most out of yourself in a situation.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the more that you know yourself, the more you know what you won't do, or what you shouldn't do, or what you shouldn't put up with, or, you know, how to say no, because you are really clear. I am this type of person. I am this person. Yeah. And I have these needs. I remember hearing somebody talk about it the other day, that one of the most amazing things that for her that she ever learned was to say, I feel, I need. So how do you feel? So you're in your menstrual cycle, whatever. How do you feel? Yeah. What do you need? Yes. And then that's is going to show you the direction. Okay, so I need this. I don't need that shit that they're trying to push onto me. I'm going to put the boundary down there, but I do need this, and I feel this, and accepting the feelings and owning those feelings so that you can get what you need.
Yes, I love that. And it reminds me of my husband and I went and did like a day intensive with a marriage counselor. Yeah. And that was one of my key takeaways, is he taught us that process. So you say to each other, I feel X because of whatever the thing is. And then the story, because the story I'm telling myself is blah, blah, blah. What I need is this. And so, like, for example, one of the examples was I was feeling like he wasn't really valuing what I was doing and taking interest in what I was doing, which, of course, when you're on your period is like super shy.
You don't even care.
Exactly. And so rather than, like, my go-to is just to, like, either get the shits, or I'm quite an avoidant person. So I'll just be like, well, fuck you then. Like, I'm not even going to bother speaking to you if you're not interested in what I'm doing. Yeah, totally. Yeah. And so then I learned to say, I feel upset when you don't pay attention to what I'm doing in my day, because the story I'm telling myself is that you don't value me, you don't think what I'm doing is worthwhile or good or whatever. So what I need for you to do is to ask me more questions about how my day was. Right. And I got that.
And that's what they would do. That's what those girls would do, like Cynthia and Sylvia. They would just tell people, no, well, I need you to do this.
Yeah, 100%. Exactly. So I think that that's a good little, like, tip, I suppose, particularly in the times of the month. 100%. For us solopreneur business owners, is to, and quite often I think we don't even know ourselves. So I don't even think we always have to articulate that whole process to the other person or people. It's like, hang on, stop a minute. I'm feeling something. What am I feeling? Why am I feeling this? Like, what belief system or story is this triggering in my mind? And what do I need in this situation? Then maybe we just articulate the last bit rather than, you know, letting everyone know exactly what's going through our minds.
Yes, exactly. Because I'd have no idea what's going through Sylvia's mind, but I certainly know what she wants.
Yes, exactly. And that's the point, right? That's what we need. Sometimes it's appropriate to share the process, particularly if it is our partner or whatever. And sometimes it's just like, no, look, this is what I need. This is what I want. So channel your inner rich bitch.
Yeah. Yes.
Tell me what you want or don't want. What I don't want right now is for you to talk to me. Thank you very much, darling.
What I do want right now is that chocolate souffle.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's good. I think we've covered quite a lot there. So basically, know thyself in terms of your cycle, what you need, what you don't need. Have the confidence to be thyself. And then communicate what you need. And in order to do that, maybe just looking at how am I feeling, what's actually going on in my head right now, what stories are going around in my head, and what do I need in order to get out of this situation or to get shit done or whatever it is. That would be really friggin' helpful, actually, to follow that process all of the time, but definitely during the...
Most definitely in cycle time, because remember, you have a chemical cocktail of shit.
That was good alliteration.
Totally like just pressing things in the brain and doing things in the endocrine system? Yeah. Endocrine, whatever. I always say endocrine, but I think it's endocrine system. And so a lot of that is sort of not really in our control.
Exactly.
And, we don't like that shit.
We hate not being in control. But I like that. I'm just going to say that to myself now when I feel out of control. I'm going to be like, oh, my chemical cocktail is going off now. Yeah. What do I need to calm that motherfucker down?
Yeah, totally. Exactly. Yeah. So there you have it, people.
There you have it. You can do business according to your cycle. And we've just told you how.
Yeah.
Bye then.
Bye.
You've been listening to Banterpreneurs. If you have a question for us to answer on the show, submit it on our website at banterpreneurs.com. And if you liked what you heard, give us a review and share the love with a fellow business mate. See you next week for more solopreneur shenanigans.